Understanding impermanence is one thing, but truly embracing it requires practice. Loving without attachment doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means appreciating people and experiences without trying to control or possess them. Instead of saying, I can't live without this person, shift your mindset to, I cherish every moment with them, but I understand that change is a part of life. A parent watching their child grow up must accept that they cannot hold on to their child's younger years forever. Instead of mourning the past, they should celebrate every new stage of life. Whenever you go through hardship, remind yourself that nothing lasts forever, including suffering. Just as difficult times come, they also pass. Like stormy weather, pain and sadness will eventually clear, making way for brighter days. If you're dealing with heartbreak or failure, understand that emotions, like waves, rise and fall. Clinging to pain prolongs suffering, but accepting its temporary nature allows healing. Since everything is temporary, every moment is precious. Instead of worrying about the past or future, fully engage in the present. Treat every encounter, meal, sunrise, or conversation as if it were a fleeting treasure, because it is. Instead of rushing through a meal while scrolling on your phone, take a moment to truly taste the food, appreciate its warmth, and be grateful for it. One of the biggest fears people have is aging and dying. But impermanence teaches us that life and death are not opposites. They are parts of the same cycle. Every leaf that falls makes way for new growth, and every ending leads to a fresh beginning. Instead of fearing wrinkles or getting older, embrace every stage of life. Appreciate the wisdom and experiences that come with time. One of the most famous teachings on impermanence comes from the Thai Buddhist monk Ajahn Chah. He used a simple yet profound analogy to explain how embracing change leads to inner peace. The story of the broken glass. One day, a student approached Ajahn Chah and admired his beautiful glass. Master, this is such a wonderful glass. It shines in the sunlight, and when I drink from it, it feels smooth and perfect. I would be heartbroken if anything happened to it. Ajahn Chah smiled and replied, to me, this glass is already broken. The student looked confused. The glass was whole, uncracked, and in perfect condition. The expert proceeded, I use this glass. I drink from it, admire its beauty, and appreciate the way it reflects the sunlight. But to me, it is already broken. One day it will fall off the shelf and shatter, or someone will accidentally drop it, or over time, it will wear down. When that happens, I will not be surprised or saddened, because I have already accepted its impermanence. Knowing this, I can appreciate it fully while it lasts. The wisdom in this story applies to everything in life. Our possessions, relationships, youth, health, and even life itself. If we cling to things as if they will last forever, we set ourselves up for suffering. But when we accept their impermanence, we can appreciate them more deeply, without the fear of losing them. Love fully, knowing that everything is temporary. Appreciate what you have while you have it. Let go with peace when the time comes. The story of the broken glass is not just about objects. It is about how we relate to everything in life. When we accept impermanence, we stop clinging, fearing loss, or resisting change. Instead, we learn to flow with life and find peace within. Most suffering in relationships comes from attachment and the fear of losing someone. We hold on too tightly, expecting things to stay the same. But when we understand that people change, circumstances shift, and nothing lasts forever, we can love more freely without fear. Instead of worrying about whether a friendship or relationship will last forever, focus on appreciating and nurturing it in the present moment. When the time comes to part ways, whether through distance, life changes, or even death, you will be able to let go with gratitude rather than pain. Aging is one of the greatest fears people have. We resist wrinkles, gray hair, and the slowing down of our bodies. But resisting the inevitable only leads to suffering. If we see youth as a glass that is already broken, we can value our health while we have it, without fearing its loss. Instead of being troubled by aging, appreciate the wisdom and experiences that come with time. Enjoy your body for what it can do today, and take care of it with kindness. We often place great value on material possessions, forgetting that they are temporary. We become anxious about losing them, damaging them, or not having enough. But if we understand that the glass is already broken, we can enjoy what we have without being controlled by it. If your phone, car, or favorite possession gets damaged or lost, remind yourself that it was never truly permanent in the first place. It served its purpose, and now it is time to move on. Life is full of moments of joy and sorrow. When we are happy, we fear losing that happiness. When we are suffering, we feel as if it will last forever. But both happiness and suffering are impermanent. Accepting this allows us to enjoy the good times and endure the difficult ones with a balanced mind. If you are experiencing success, appreciate it, but don't become attached to it. If you are going through a difficult time, remind yourself that this too shall pass. Nothing is permanent. Everything changes. When we deeply internalize the truth of impermanence, we stop being shaken by life's changes. We develop a peaceful mind that remains steady through every storm. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or detached. It means we appreciate life more fully while remaining free from suffering caused by attachment. As the Buddha said, the root of suffering is attachment. By accepting that the glass is already broken, we free ourselves from fear, stress, and disappointment. Instead of resisting change, we embrace it, allowing us to live with gratitude, mindfulness, and true inner peace. Imagine standing by a river, watching the water flow. You don't try to hold on to the water, you simply enjoy its movement. Life is the same way. Everything is passing, constantly changing. The secret to happiness is to let it flow, without resistance, without fear, just pure acceptance. When we embrace impermanence, we also transform the way we relate to others. We often cling to relationships, fearing loss, change, or separation. But just as everything in life is temporary, so too are the people who come into our lives. Some stay for a lifetime, while others cross our path only briefly. Instead of resisting this, we can cherish every interaction, every shared moment, knowing that it is precious precisely because it will not last forever. When we love with attachment, we suffer. We fear losing the person, we try to control them, or we struggle when they change. But when we love with an awareness of impermanence, we love freely. We appreciate people as they are in the present moment, without demanding that they remain the same forever. This makes our relationships deeper, more compassionate, and free from unnecessary suffering. The same principle applies to our identity. Many of us define ourselves by our roles, accomplishments, or physical appearance. But these too are impermanent. The person we were 10 years ago is not the same as the person we are today, and the person we are today will not be the same in the future. Holding on to a fixed identity only creates struggle, especially as life circumstances change. By accepting impermanence, we become more adaptable, open, and at peace with who we are at any given moment. Instead of fearing change, we embrace growth. Instead of clinging to an old version of ourselves, we allow life to shape us naturally. This understanding also helps us face the greatest fear of all, death. Many people live in denial of their mortality, trying to avoid any thought of it. But death, like everything else, is simply a part of the natural cycle. When we accept it, we stop fearing it. We begin to live more fully, appreciating each day as a gift rather than taking it for granted. In the end, impermanence is not something to fear, but something to celebrate. It is what makes life precious, beautiful, and meaningful. By letting go of attachment, we discover true freedom, the ability to live with joy, gratitude, and serenity, no matter what comes our way. So the next time you find yourself resisting change, remind yourself, the glass is already broken, and because of that, every moment is infinitely valuable. When we fully embrace the idea that the glass is already broken, we begin to see life with fresh eyes. Instead of clinging to what was or anxiously anticipating what will be, we root ourselves in the present moment. This is where true peace is found, not in controlling the future or lamenting the past, but in fully experiencing the now. Mindfulness becomes our greatest tool. When we eat, we taste each bite with awareness. When we speak with a loved one, we truly listen, knowing that this moment will never come again in exactly the same way. We stop rushing through life as if we are racing towards some final destination. Instead, we slow down and appreciate the simple, fleeting beauty of everyday existence. The warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of the wind in the trees, the laughter of a friend. This shift in perspective also transforms how we deal with challenges. Difficulties will arise. Pain and loss are inevitable. But instead of resisting them or seeing them as unfair, we accept them as natural parts of life's flow. Just as a river moves around rocks without stopping, we learn to move through hardships without becoming trapped in suffering. This does not mean we become passive. Acceptance is not the same as inaction. When we face problems, we respond wisely, but without unnecessary fear or resistance. When we work toward our goals, we do so with a light heart, unattached to the outcome. We understand that everything we build, whether success, relationships, or material wealth, is like sandcastles on the shore. One day the waves will come and wash them away. Knowing this, we build with joy, not desperation. A person who lives with this wisdom is like a tree that bends with the wind rather than breaks. They are steady yet flexible. They love deeply yet freely. They work hard yet without fear of failure. They experience all of life's emotions yet remain unshaken at their core. This is the essence of inner peace. Not a life without change, but a heart that remains at peace within change. So take a deep breath. Look around you. Everything you see is temporary, and because of that, it is precious. Love it, appreciate it, but do not cling to it. Let life flow through you like a river, and in that flow, you will find the deepest freedom of all. When we truly grasp the impermanence of all things, we begin to experience a profound shift in how we live. Fear fades, and in its place, a deep appreciation arises. Every sunrise, every conversation, every breath becomes a gift. We stop waiting for some distant moment to bring us happiness and recognize that joy is available to us right here, right now. This realization also dissolves many of the worries that once consumed us. We stop obsessing over the future, trying to control every outcome, because we understand that nothing is fixed. Plans may change, circumstances may shift, but we remain at peace, flowing with life rather than resisting it. With this wisdom, our relationships become more harmonious. We no longer try to possess or control the people we love. Instead, we appreciate them for who they are in this moment. We stop holding grudges, realizing that clinging to past hurts only burdens our own hearts. Just as the seasons change, people change too. By accepting this, we learn to love with a freer, more open heart. The practice of letting go does not mean abandoning our responsibilities or detaching from the world. On the contrary, it allows us to engage with life more fully and wholeheartedly. When we are no longer weighed down by fear, attachment, and resistance, we can give more, love more, and experience life with deep and abiding peace. Imagine walking through a garden. If you become attached to a single flower, fearing its eventual withering, you miss the beauty of the entire garden. But if you appreciate each flower as it blooms, knowing that its impermanence makes it all the more beautiful, you experience true joy. Life is no different. Every moment, every experience, every connection is like a flower, temporary, fleeting, but deeply meaningful. So let go of your fears, release your need to control, trust in the flow of life. When you do, you will find that you are not losing anything. You are gaining the freedom to live fully, love deeply, and embrace each moment with an open heart. Our videos are not intended to promote Buddhism as a religion. Instead, our aim is to highlight the beauty and wisdom of Tibetan philosophy, sharing its timeless insights in a way that adds a positive and meaningful touch to people's lives. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for more videos. Until next time.